Hi, welcome back to the Jack and Glenn channel. I'm Jackie.
I'm her husband, Glenn.
Why are you yelling?
I don't know why I'm yelling. I'm just saying I'm your husband, Glenn. Hey, before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of our reviews. Tonight, Married at First Sight, Season 16, Episode number 14. Where do you want to get started?
Which is the rope, the feather, and the bidet.
Bidet.
The bidet.
The bidet.
Let's start with Nicole and Chris, my favorite couple.
I think that's everybody's favorite couple. They might be boring,
Because I don't think they're boring, though. I think Nicole is having some breakthrough. She's realizing that I don't like what she said. She got some issues. Like, she's so messed up, but she's not. She's not really.
No, she's boring.
She just had some bad circumstance.
We all have issues. I mean, to be honest.
But
no, but hers just played out on TV.
Yeah. This is where we found out the bidet part of the episode title because Nicole's mom gave them a project. They're putting a bidet in the bathroom, which he couldn't understand why you're putting a bidet in an apartment toilet. It's not like it's permanent.
I know it's not permanent, but I just don't. I just wouldn't want to have to take it off before I move. And I'm knowing he stayed over 8 weeks, so I'm just thinking about not the fact that the bidet is bad. I'm just thinking about the fact that I'm gonna have to remove it.
Mm-hmm. It only got like 2 weeks left.
Right, so why put it in?
And they jokingly was like, "Oh, putting the bidet in is like another level of intimacy." She's like, "Yeah, and they try it out." And he was like, "Wait, whoa, I didn't know it was gonna go right in your bookie, your bookie hole,
right in your hole,
right in the bookie." Yeah, so
I mean,
he made some noise in it. She's like, "You okay?" She's outside falling out laughing, but I like them. I thought that was funny.
You want a bidet?
Mm-hmm. Do you want a bidet? Is the question.
No, I've been cleaning my butt fine for years. I don't need a bidet.
Okay.
You got jokes.
I was gonna make a joke, but y'all be taking stuff too serious.
So I take stuff serious. Don't make no jokes.
So I can't say that.
Because I'm about to make
a
joke
say
too.
Your underwear say something different.
No, they don't.
It's a joke.
No, they don't.
It's a joke. That's why I said I was gonna joke.
Okay, say my mama taught me well.
Anyway, so
real well.
This is the episode where Dr. Pia comes to talk to the couples.
Here.
And I feel like she wasted her time with a couple of the couples. But I think when she came to talk to Nicole and Chris, like they really had, like I said, Nicole had a breakthrough. She said, I've been noticing y'all have some really good connections, some good chemistry. It sounds like, the trust is strong and, and so I understand y'all have had sex. Yeah. And so, they just talk about has sex ever had a negative effect in your relationship? And both of them shared that, we've had a relationship where sex was the focal point. And so we really wanted to get to know each other first, connect emotionally, and then go there because we didn't want like sex to ruin the friendship, whatever. And Nicole talked about how she's had hate sex before. So she's had sex with somebody that she didn't even like, couldn't stand. But
I've never been there.
But it was good. And so she indulged and she was like, I still don't like him.
But it goes to my point later with the other couple, how people could have sex and not really feel the person.
Yeah, we ain't got time to get into all that.
Okay.
But anyway.
But I'm just saying.
So Nicole says she likes this better because she doesn't have like the shame and regret after it that she's had before. So they talked about foreplay, how's a foreplay, and Nicole was like, not so much. It's not as much as I would like,
which means Chris is like warming you up and just go ahead and get it done. That's what I read. That's what I felt that way.
Our former bishop who's passed away, God rest his soul, he used to say, you got to rub a horse, you got to pet the horse before you ride.
Before you ride it. You got to make sure you take care of that thing.
You might need to rub that horse down quite a bit.
Yeah, Chris.
I thought it was so funny when he said it. But anyway, and so Dr. P was like, okay, so are you normally a people pleaser, Nicole? Because I feel like you have a problem with it, but you don't want to say anything to him because you don't want to rock the boat because you don't want to be there in issues and might run him off. And she was like, well, yeah, kind of.
I don't think it's a bad issue. I think when you're in relationships and it's not working sexually because they're new, you're supposed to have those type of discussions. You're supposed to say, hey, bro, I need you, or sis, can you do? And then let them make a selection on if they're going to choose to do or not. That's what marriage is about. Y'all don't know each other. Especially in this situation. Y'all don't know each other sexually at all.
But the one thing they said is, okay, so she's realizing that Chris is her safe space. And so she can share, they can share with each other. And how does that feel? Nicole was like, it's amazing. I didn't know, that had so many issues. Like, I'm looking at myself like you're really messed up. And that's when Dr. P was like, no, you're not. You are not what happened to you. It just happened to you. So you're not messed up. Nicole was like, no, I let it happen. And Dr. P was like, but y'all are willing to have these conversations and, and that you can be vulnerable. And that's where passion comes up. And Nicole was like, I didn't think the conversation with Dr. Pia, who's the sexual expert, would get to like the root of like what's going on with me. So she was appreciative for that. But
I like Dr. Pia. Dr. Pia bought it in this episode. She brought questions out of everybody and she asked the tough questions. And she wanted to make sure she got the right answers.
My only issue with Nicole and Chris is that, again, this is like the sexual episode. So they had a chest arrive with some stuff that they were supposed to play with and do, and handcuffs, and I think the feather was in there. And they were basically like, we don't really need this. I don't think we need to do that. You're supposed to do it.
Try it.
They were basically like,
try it.
You're supposed to do it. Like, why would you not do it? They didn't even try anything. I was bothered by that.
Yo, I'm not mad at you. Go try the chest. Whatever the chest says.
Try some stuff.
Do some stuff in the chest.
You said you had a problem with this foreplay. Let him do his foreplay thing.
Foreplay thing. Let him rub you with a feather. Get some of the hot oil. That's what she did. She took the hot oil, like hot lube. Like, play with the lube. Just have fun with the box.
Yes.
Why you like,
the way you said play with the lube, like I just anyway.
Have fun with the box.
Yeah.
Put it in the box. Do it. Handcuffs, blindfolds, whatever.
Yeah, do that.
Just
do that. But she says, she would feel more comfortable saying yes on decision day, based on their sex life as it is right now. They don't need to do anything extra for her to say yes. So I'm like, okay, Nicole, you could have had you a good little time, but it's okay. So next,
let's go to Clint and let's go to Clint and his best friend Gina.
Lord have mercy.
Best friends.
Dr. Pia comes
Dr.
Pia comes to visit them. She's like, how's it been going? They're like, both is good. And she's like, how's it good? He was like, we've been growing in our communication. That's gotten better. And Gina was like, yeah, we're getting to know each other on friendship, connection. We're not really feeling married. And Dr. P was like, okay, how's it going? Good. If you're not feeling married, how is it that you're not feeling married? And it was like, basically, because we don't have that desire for physical connection. Do you have sexual desires outside each other? Clint was like, heck yeah. I'm a very sexual person. And Gina was like, yeah, I had desires. So Dr. P was like, I don't understand. So how are you satisfied? And they were like, we have our ways.
They're both in their room taking care of business with themselves. And your mate is across the hall. Makes no sense to me.
But it does. And I told you we're not going to get into this. It makes sense because it would be easy. Like we talked about this with Jasmine and Eris. It would be too easy for me to initiate. And I'm talking about from Clint because I can't imagine from Gina doing it more for Clint. Yeah. It would be too easy to initiate a sexual relationship with somebody that I'm not attracted to.
We just saw Nicole have sex with somebody she wasn't attracted to.
Nicole.
From the first time she said somebody that she wasn't romantic.
Oh, no. She said she didn't like him.
She didn't like him. Again, people can.
But you could be physically attracted to somebody and sexually attracted, but don't like them.
But my thing is, why are they? I don't think Dr. Pia got to it. Why aren't y'all sexually attracted to each other? Male, female should be a natural sexual attraction.
Because sometimes you just don't like. You're just not physically attracted to somebody. And if I'm not physically attracted to them, then we can't get to the.
She don't even know he was working with. She don't even. She don't even.
But she don't need to know what
he could be laying it down.
She don't like the way. He's not physically attracted to her. Same thing with Jasmine and Eris. So they can't get past that to get to the sexual thing. And I wouldn't encourage them to do the sexual thing where you're making that kind of connection when you don't have the rest. And because you don't want your relationship just built.
They got the rest. They got everything. They're a good couple on the outside, except for they're not emotionally attached to each other. If you think about it, they communicate very well. They got along. They got past the issue from the honeymoon, from Jamaica, all that. They have a potential to be a very good couple. They just haven't met each other sexually. No kissing, no touching, no fondling, no holding, no nothing.
Because I'm going to say this again. Listen. It's nothing wrong with hugging somebody, but that hug is not gonna go nowhere if you like. And it's okay. They don't have to like each other.
They don't. But Clint, as I'm just saying, for me as a guy, I'm married 8 weeks. We're gonna try, and this is an experiment. We're gonna try everything in the experiment. If you shut me down for 8 weeks, I'm perfectly fine. I know you're not the one, but I am at least gonna try. My thing is not telling him to go over there and bang the door down, kick down like a caveman. My thing is go actually try give her a hug, try give her a kiss, try to hug up with her, snuggle up with her, and rub her feet.
But why try?
Like you said, you first got to pet the horse, right? You just said you got to pet the horse before.
That's if you like the horse and you actually want to ride it. If you don't like the horse and you don't actually want to ride it, ain't nobody wasting no time petting it up.
But he does want to ride it.
He don't. He wants to ride. He just don't want to ride her.
Right, but and
that's okay.
If she would let him ride, he would ride. And he don't know until he pet the horse.
Anyway, so Dr. Pia says, it takes work and effort to be married and to get to that point. Like, how are y'all watering that? Gina's like, I want stuff to happen organically. I don't want to push it. That's her word. And Dr. P was like, look, you're not talking about getting there sexually. So how are you supposed to get there? And I still say it's because I'm not going to talk to you about getting there sexually if I'm not interested in getting there with you sexually. Like, for what?
Yeah, we know she's not interested in getting there with him sexually. But as a guy, I would at least know that I've tried everything in my marriage and it didn't work. They haven't tried this, and that's what Dr. P is saying. At least try to be intimate with one another. Try to have some kind of touching, some kind of interaction between each other to see if that doesn't open up the gates, or if that doesn't pull the walls down, if that doesn't make the attraction grow. I'm glad I'm attracted to you and you're attracted to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dr. Pio is like, how do you think the marriage is going to last without sex? And Gina was like, I don't know if it will. So Dr. Pio asked Clint, and Gina answers, I think he feels the same way I do. She was like, let him answer. I'm talking to you.
I'm not there.
Let him answer. And he was like, I know that sex as the sexual component has to be there within a marriage. I understand that. And okay, so what makes you get there, like sexually? He's like, I'm a big scent guy. I'm attracted to that. And she was like, yeah, I'm a scent person too, and music and style. You gotta have a little bit of swag. And she don't think my man got swag, and he was highly offended.
Clint got swag.
He was like, I ain't got no swag. I mean, I know I'm laid back right now, but I can dial it up. I can dial the swag. You sure I ain't got no swag? And he was like, I could get the house smelling good and have a playlist. That's what Dr. Pia encouraged him. Why don't you get the house smelling good? Get you some vanilla candles and get a playlist together, play some music, and go into it with no expectation of sex and just see how that works for you. And he was like, I don't know.
And Clint said he can get some R&B music.
Dr. Pia said, look, let's get past all the I don't want tos.
Mm-hmm.
And Gina just was like, I feel like pressure to discuss attraction, which is uncomfortable to them. And we haven't even talked about attraction since the fiasco when they were on the honeymoon. So she's like, I really don't want to go there.
She cut him off.
I don't really want to go there.
She cut him off because of the slender and the athletic comment. And he has never had an opportunity to hit the start button to go get some more.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's so wrong.
So we see them have a little conversation. They talk about, they had some wine or whatever. Hey, cheers to getting sexual. Let's physical. Let's see how we can get there. And that's when Clint has a conversation with her. Oh, you don't think I got no swag? She was like, I mean, you could try. He was like, I got swag. What is you talking about? And he was like, look, I think a different kind of haircut would definitely up your swag factor. So, basically you better come get a haircut, and then you'll appreciate me for that later.
There she go again, sliding her job into the conversation. Sliding the job. He can't even have a conversation without her talking about work.
Yeah.
She slid the work thing in. Like, let it be. Be nice and cut his hair at home.
Her thing, he asked, she's like, you think the candles in the playlist thing will actually work? He was like, I don't know. I mean, worth a try. And so later on, they have some questions that they got to answer. Yeah. Okay, what's a safe word for, when it comes to sexual exploits. And it was like, I mean, do we need a safe word? Should we have a safe word? They had that whole little conversation. Okay, would you or have you sent nudes? And she was like, I mean, I'm okay with it. And he was like, yeah, me too. I've done it.
Yeah, I've known people got in trouble for it.
I've
So you better be careful out there sending news. You just never know who may look at somebody else's phone. And make sure you send the news to people that you belong to.
It was another question. Okay, like, what's your favorite position? And she's like, this is getting too much. Like, the questions are cool till we start getting to this. Like, I don't want to talk about that with you because I don't feel like that with you. But she says she's trying to keep an open mind. They get the basket so they can do sensate focus therapy. And I feel like they just played with the stuff in the basket. They really didn't do with it what they're supposed to do with it. What they should have did was put the blindfold on. They should have gave them blindfolds. Put the blindfold on, and then let me rub you with this feather.
See, that goes to my point of trying. Again, you just proved my point. Try, Clint. Try. Slap her in the butt one time while she in the kitchen or you cooking. Brush up against her. Do something. You never know. Tell her, girl, you ain't fluffy. You athletic. I mean, whatever you case may be, go where you go.
But they did the feather, they did the massage, they did the brushing. They was like, okay, I kind of like that. And at first I was like, okay, Gina thinks she's slick. She about to just use it on Clint and do it to herself and not let him do it. But then she did let him. I was like, okay, all right. But it was still really like, oh, wow, I feel the feather.
If he kept drinking enough wine, it might have happened.
But she says not as awkward as she thought it would be. They're taking baby steps. Touch is good if it's intentional. So I guess they're going to bull crap try to touch each other. It was a good try, Dr. Pia. I don't think they're going to try it. They did it that time. They're not doing nothing else.
Wasting their time.
Okay, so
let's go to Eris and Jasmine.
Okay, Jasmine and Eris. And so
here you go, Marquise. I got you, brother. I'm about oh yeah, Eris is a little slow, but we get there. Go ahead. We get
there. First we see it opens with Jasmine in her car, just really talking about how I didn't think I would be in this place in my marriage. I feel myself putting guards up. I'm trying to get out of my head, but I'm still at the same time hopeful as well as concerned. But I'm hopeful that we can get to a space that, that I wanted us to be in the first place. So that's her feeling, her sentiment when she goes into the visit with Dr. Pia. So Dr. Pia is like, how's it been going? And Eris is like, I know it's not going how we envision, but this is where we are. And Dr. P's question was, can it change? And Eris is like, that's what we're hoping for. The question was, are you getting your needs met? And Jasmine was like, no.
No, that's a big no. Capital N, capital O.
She was, I'm not getting physical touch. I got friendship. I didn't sign up to be no friend. I want to be your wife. And the least you could do is when I come home, act like you miss me. Give me a hug. Hey, how you doing? I want that. And Dr. P was like, what, do you want to give her a hug? He was like, yeah. So she's like, give her a hug.
Because Eris is like most guys. He's like, man, it's been this long. So why should I start changing? Why should I change now?
Right. And before they did it out of obligation. And so they start because it was awkward. And so now it's like,
if I do it now, it's going to be awkward. Like, nah, bro, do it. Like your wife tell you that she wants you to start opening the car door. You ain't been opening the car door. Start opening the car door. And then when he start opening the car door, woman, appreciate the fact that he opened the car door. It's just those type of things. If he start hugging her, she'll appreciate the fact that he started to hug her. He don't get it.
Dr. Pia talked to them. She was like, have y'all had like really good conversations are a part of intimacy. It's not just the sexual part, but getting to know each other. Have y'all had conversations? And Eris was like, I mean, we've had conversations, but not nothing. I was like, oh man, me and Jasmine had a really good talk. I just felt really good. And Jasmine was like, am I holding back? I don't feel like I'm holding back, but I am more guarded now. And I'm not volunteering information. And Dr. P was like, do you feel like you're just being agreeable? And Eris was like, yes, I do feel like she's just being agreeable.
Oh, she definitely going through the motions.
Jasmine was like, no, like they talked about how they were going through the fishbowl questions, and Eris felt like she was holding back, and Jasmine was like, because he be sarcastic. I don't like it. I feel like if you're not gonna be serious about it, I feel like you're just doing it because they told us to do the activity. And so no, I'm not. And that's the same thing I told you in our last review.
Yes.
She's not answering the questions because she feel like you don't really care. You're just doing it because they told us to do it.
I totally agree.
And so I'm not going to do it.
I agree with you, and I agree with y'all. Eris is just going through the motions.
Yeah.
I mean, he had me fooled. Hey.
I told you.
I
told you
he's going through the motions.
Well, I don't know if he's going through the motions, but that's definitely what it's giving.
He went through the show. He's giving but again, he's giving like it's slow. He's taking slow steps. But again, as we learned, he wants the girl to be forceful. He wants the girl to take the lead.
Yeah.
We learned that he wants to. So if she starts that again, goes back to what he used to. He back to the hoochie mamas, street girls that be wanting ready to throw it on him, and now he doesn't know how to take it when a girl is not throwing it at him.
Yeah, because Dr. Pia was like, she was like, I felt like he was just doing it. And Dr. Pia says, how does it feel to you when she challenged you like that? He's like, I like it.
Right. He likes the girl who challenged him. He likes chaos and drama. He likes the what some of the women that he deal with has given him. He likes that because that's the norm. He doesn't know how to handle, and he's been telling us the whole season, he doesn't know how to handle a quote unquote good girl. And I'm just saying she's a good girl on camera because again, in her bedroom and behind closed doors, she says she's totally different. So he doesn't know how to handle it, and he's not even trying to experience it.
Yeah. So Dr. P was like, oh, I get you now. So you want somebody that will initiate and take charge. And Jasmine was like, I could try it, but it is uncomfortable trying to do that with him because of the space that she's in their relationship. And
she's gone.
Yeah. So we see them cooking together. And the one thing Eris said is, after talking to Dr. P, I have a new definition of intimacy. It's not just the sexual stuff, but it's other things you can do when you get into the cooking and sharing those. And they're hoping that the cooking together will spark something. And they go to the part where, okay, so we've seen Eris talk to her mom, and now we see that Eris has talked to her sister to try to get a feel of where Jasmine's coming from. I feel, is he trying to grab something that he can be attracted to? Like what?
I think that's his way of trying. He's trying to. He sees that he sees that she's a good girl, right? That she is a catch, but he's again physically not attracted to her, and so he's trying to hang on to something, trying to grasp something. And again, all far as we know, production might have told Nicole, but I mean, I don't think so. I think he's trying to grab something. He might actually, in a sense, like her, but don't like her. He might have some good days and some bad days.
I don't know, but her sister encouraged him. I know it's uncomfortable the space that y'all in. But, she's uncomfortable, but you have to make her feel comfortable, even though you're in that space too. So, and then, maybe she'll open up or whatever. They talked about the fact that she says, I'm a big person of action more than words. She said, that's like the way my dad operated. Like he didn't say he loved us that much, but he showed us. And so that's how I receive love more than you saying it. Because you could tell me, and then I don't see it in your actions. Like, no, I'm not going to do that.
And Eris has not been showing it. He has not given the gift. Again, he hasn't been hugging her. Hasn't brought her flowers. He didn't do anything for the anniversary, the month anniversary. They went to, the break room, the rage room.
Yeah.
She wants to see more of a tangible type things. The flowers, the love, the romance. Hold my hand, kiss me on the cheek. That stuff that Kirsten was talking about, Shaq earlier. That's what Jasmine want to see, and Eris is scared to do it because he don't know how she's gonna respond because she's already checked out, and he may not know how to do it because he's never been in love before, and he's never been in that type of relationship where he had to put love on somebody. Everybody's always put love on him because he's the catch. I'm using his words.
No, I'm saying
not yours, his words. So he doesn't know how to express that because he never had to do it.
And then the bad thing is, Jasmine said she talked to her sister after she talked to Eris. And she was like, my sister told me that you only clapped for me on the wedding day because Pastor Cal told you to. And he was like, yeah, what was I supposed to do? Like, I wanted to make you feel safe and comfortable. No, you weren't what I expected when you came down the aisle, but, I had to be a husband and calm my wife down. And Jasmine was like, yeah, and lie to your wife.
I'm gonna do.
And lie to your wife.
I gotta use this. The good book talks about all things are lawful but not expedient. There's some things you just take to your grave. And the biggest thing that is one of them. You're not gonna tell a girl that I just clapped for you because somebody told me. Listen. No, you tell her I appreciate you. You look nice on your wedding. It's her wedding day.
But didn't we learn this with Mitch and Kristen? Mitch talked to Kristen's sister and said some things too. Don't tell the sister something that you
don't want the other
she's
sister.
going to go and tell her sister what you said.
Trust the people that you talk to.
And trust me, you ain't that deep in this process. I'm gonna tell you right now. Me and my husband been married for 22 years almost.
Mm-hmm.
I promise you, even though we've been married for a long time, let some things, if my husband talked to my sister about, she's going to tell me.
I don't know, Kathy. You online right now? Don't tell me.
And they not even this deep in it. So their sister don't know you. She finna tell everything you said.
Kathy, I got some things to tell you when we get offline.
Anyway, I'm just saying, you put a lot of trust in people that you just met.
He just met.
That is her sister. Her sister's going to tell her. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But anyway, she was like, I want my husband to be smitten by me. I want to hold my hand, come for me. It's not because somebody said so, but because you want to.
Mm-hmm.
And, she said, I just don't feel like Eris is all in.
Nah, so. He's not all in. He's been all in for a couple weeks. Let's go to these people.
All right. So then we go to Shaquille and Kirsten. And so first we see Shaquille's preparing to go to Memphis because he has to handle some business. We found out it's recruiting and preparing students for the 2023 school year. So she stays in Nashville. He goes to Memphis.
All right. I want to touch on that real quick because he asked her to go. She said no, she didn't want to go. But he really wanted her to go, so he didn't even push.
No, what happened was he said later they had talked about her going and like she was going to go that way. But then everything changed and she started making other plans. And he was like, he was like, we had planned for you to go and then you make plans to stay. And I was like, I won't go full with it.
But I want to know this. Because the last time she went, she was bored. Like, what do I do when
she stayed in a freaking hotel room? I don't know if she could not go.
What do I do when you go to your events? Do I just follow you around all day? I mean, again, her work's gotta go. That's what I'm looking at. Like, have we discussed what are we doing? Am I just gonna go to Memphis and follow you all around all day before you do work, or I'm going to Memphis and we're gonna do some fun things together? And I know he just wants you to be there to support, but how am I supporting if I'm just sitting in the hotel room? How am I? So those are the type of things that I'm looking at. Like, what do you want me to, from her standpoint? What do you want me to do? Because to me, in the last 2 episodes, Shaquille seems a little controlling and needy.
Well, I don't know about that. I think
he's needy like some other people we know. He wants affirmation.
I think he's kind of fed up.
He wants affirmation all the time.
But I think he's kind of fed up.
But he wants her in his world, and he's not willing to be in her world. And she won't let him in her world. But he wants her to be all in for everything he does.
But that's why he's fed up, because he's like, this is what I need from you. Okay. So I can't get what, I'm trying to get deeper with you and I can't get that from you. So the least you could do is give me what it is I need to so I think he's fed up. And then with the, which they get into that too. Okay. So you want, your dad did X, Y, Z, and you trying to put me in the same box as your dad. Mm-hmm. And I'm not your father. Don't try to do that to me, which we see. I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but we see them, they do FaceTime while he's in Memphis, and they have a conversation, and then she's getting off, she blows him a kiss, right? It's like bye. And he was kind of stiff.
Oh, he was stiff.
And he was kind of stiff and short.
He was mad at her.
Yeah.
He was short.
Yeah, short with the conversation. So when when they hung up, then she called him back, and I was like, why she called him back? She was like, I was trying to blow you a kiss, and you just hung up, and you didn't take the kiss I was trying to blow you. He was like, oh, I didn't know you were trying to blow me a kiss.
Because he took his hand and put on the camera. He covered that bad boy up quick to close. When she said bye, he went and just went by like real quick. Go back and watch. I watched it. I'm like, he's like, shut that thing down quickly. Like, I don't want nothing to do with you.
Yeah, like, but he might have been tired too. I'm just saying,
no excuses.
I'm not giving him no excuse. I'm just saying, we've learned before.
No excuses.
That who was it? Who else acted like that? With the pictures, take a picture of me.
Miguel.
Yeah.
But then verbalize. Use your communication skills.
I don't disagree. But I'm just saying, just saying that might have been part of it too. And I'm never saying that's an excuse. Because you mad at one thing, don't mean you gotta take it out on other people for none of that stuff. But anyway,
because you're tired, don't mean you can still say bye.
Yeah. So then he comes back, and just about the time he comes back, that's when Dr. Pia comes to visit. And so he was like, he's excited to be home, to be there with his wife, because he did miss her. Dr. Pia said, "How's things going?" Kirsten says things have been going great. They're doing quality time. They're building more. And Shaquille was like, she asked Shaquille, does he agree? And he was like, I mean, it's been rocky, but we have had more good times than bad times. We're trying to find a good balance. She works and she does this, and I work and I do that, and trying to spend time with each other. We're still trying to learn each other. So that's what's made us rocky. And she was kind of like, what you mean? His response, but that's how he feels.
That's how he feels. He feel like it's rocky. Like, we're not spending time, but she feel like he ain't spending no time with her, and he cares about the recruiting and the college stuff more so than he is her.
I mean, it's his job. But you gotta make time.
Okay, what to say? Yeah, it's his job. Gotta make time.
So Kirsten says, the question is, are you used to being in control? I'm used to being in control. It's hard not to be in control. And Dr. Pia said it's important to recognize that you need to relinquish control sometimes. Feel comfortable with him taking care of you. And she was like, yeah, I'm getting more comfortable. Have y'all talked about attraction? And Kirsten was like, well, not really. It was, he wasn't attracted to her at first, but then when he helps me move the boxes and he's sitting there using his muscles, and that was very masculine to me. And not just like, and so Dr. P was like, okay, so do you not think he's masculine? And Shaquille's face was like,
hold on. Okay, that's how long she waited. Great silence.
No. She said, I mean, yeah. Dr. P was like, that was a long pause. Like, explain this to me. She was like, because my dad was very masculine. He was hands-on. He was tough. He was a provider. And, do you not think he can be tough? I mean, he can be tough, but, I've seen that more kinder and genuine, pleasing side of him. And Dr. P was like, well, those can be masculine traits too. Do you not think he can be tough? And she was like, I mean, he makes me feel taken care of and secure and comfortable, more so versus safe and protected. And Kirsten was like, it's tough to say if I feel that way. I've never seen him in a protective mode. I was like, this is just going from bad to worse.
Yeah, she said he's soft. Soft batch of cookies. Says there was a problem. There's an issue. There's a lot going on. She doesn't. She does not like him at all. I mean, she likes him. She wants him to be manly. Get your hands dirty, not manicure.
But this is
that's what
thing.
She sees, though.
But I understand that's what she wants. But think about who you're dealing with. Remember, this was a boy who had a really bad car accident. Mm-hmm. He was traumatized by that. Because of what happened to him as a result of the accident, he wasn't allowed to play sports. That toughens boys up. Mm-hmm. He was more into the academics, that kind of thing. So just take that into consideration. So it's not that he's not masculine. It's just he's expressing his masculinity in another way. But you have to really understand his history to say that. Like, I just think about who you're dealing with. That's what I'm feeling with her. But anyway, Dr. Pia asked Shaq, how does that make you feel? He's like, well, do you not think I'm tough and protective? What do you have to see from me to get that? Like, do I have to protect you from a robber? From somebody trying to come and mug you? Like, what do you want? She's looking for somebody to mimic her dad, and I'm not her dad. I'm going to do the best I can. I'm going to be protective, but like, God dog, we haven't been in those situations where I've had to go downstairs with the bat because I hear a noise.
True. But again, you need to know that she needs to know that you can protect her safety. I'm not saying she's right, but again, and she has to realize that he is not her dad because she's trying to compare him to her dad. He's not her dad. And I think a lot of marriages have that issue when a person has a strong father. When they come in, my daddy used to do, and my daddy used to do. Well, I'm not your daddy, and this is what we used to do, and this is what we need to do together. And I think those discussions need to take place.
Mm-hmm.
We got a story. I got a story about that, but we talk. That's not time.
I was waiting.
It's not the time or the place. But it might be on the podcast because I got a story about that. I can feel Shaq because I'm not Jackie's daddy.
No, you ain't.
Oh no, I'm not.
You are not Arthur.
Oh no, we had that comment. We had that issue at the beginning, but we again podcast might do a video on it. Y'all talk about it later.
Shaquille's like she just has these expectations of me. And so Dr. P was like, are you changing for her, not being your true self? What if he doesn't meet your expectations of masculinity? Would that affect the success of the marriage? And Kirsten was like, but I don't want him to be something he's not. But if he's meeting other needs and my expectations, that does mean a lot to me, even if I'm not seeing the masculine side or whatever. But I don't know. He gonna have to go out there and just beat a punk up or something.
Nah. I mean, he can do that. Again, you don't have to go beat anybody up. You just have to show her some of the manly things and how something breaks down, fix it. Being able to, even on the side of the road when she walks, make sure you walk there. Make sure you driving some things, communicate properly with her, come in and give her the hug and kiss that she wants, that she asks for. Maybe pick her up, embrace her, and grab her, show her that you're strong. Maybe carry more boxes in the house. Man, you're carrying grocery bags upstairs. You carry all the 15, 20 bags in your hand, right? That type of stuff that she may be looking for, not necessarily go save the day.
We'll see, but they got an assignment.
She does talk in circles. I said that last night we watched the show.
He did.
She talks in circles, like she's talking in circles.
They had an assignment. They had to both pick some things that they find are sexy, and they had to use it. So they had the blindfolds, and so he had the blindfold. He had to direct her throughout the apartment, and she was like, "Where you gonna make me run into something?" But anyway, so he had a rope in the dryer that he used, to kind of wrap around her, and she said, this is like you giving me control. You gonna let me have the control."
Yeah.
They did the little liquid lubricant on her hand, she said she's transforming, that he can lead her and learn. She can learn how to trust him. And Shaquille was like, we can still have, we still have to work on communication, and we could have done better while he was in Memphis. He goes back to that. So apparently they FaceTime, but not as much as they could have. Mm-hmm. They didn't do as much talking as they could have. And so he was like, we have to do better with that. And that's when he talks about the fact that we had plans for you to come. I'm asking for somebody to support me, to be there for me. And you said you're going to be there and that's what you wanted to do. But then in the end, you ended up not going. You made other plans. So
to me, he needs affirmation all the time. He wants somebody to be there clapping him up. Shaquille, you're doing a great job. Shaquille, you're doing this, which is fine. But sometimes you got to realize in a marriage, your spouse may not always be there and may not always be able to come. But when they get back home, or you tell them about the event, or you tell them about the situation, then they can encourage you that way. And I think he looking for a spouse to follow him around, and that's not what that's not who he has. Mm-hmm. He has the independent businesswoman who has created a business. Now she talks in circles and do different things like that. But she may not be able to go to every college you go to, every tour you go to.
But he wants her to be supportive. So be into, how is this? Next time I'm gonna come with you, and say if you're gonna go. Actually go. Right. And sit in the back of the room and just observe and see what he's doing, whatever the case may be.
Right. Again, he wants her to give in to him. He wants her to give in to him, but she also wants him to give in to her, because he wants the hugs and kisses and all that when he comes home. It's a give and take. They both need to take care of it.
Mm-hmm. The only other thing I would say is that the guys had a chance to get together, the girls had a chance to get together, and the thing that stuck out to me with that is the fact that Jasmine had a breakdown. Yeah. Like, I'm just not in a good place in my marriage, and Nicole encouraged her, this is a safe space you can share, and
that's like somebody nosy would say.
She said, I just feel like I'm at my breaking point, and you could really see it, because she was like, it's harder than she thought it would be. It's the worst case scenario, getting married and your spouse is not attracted to you. She's there. And so she's like, I don't feel like giving no more. I'm trying to, but I don't really feel like he's being real about it. And, Nicole was like, my heart breaks for Jasmine.
Yeah.
And
I think we all feel for her. I mean, we all understand where Eris is at and what Eris has done to her, and hopefully she can recover. Darn sure both of them going to say no on decision day.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
So far, Nicole and Chris are going to say yes. Clint and Gina are going to say no. Jasmine and Eris gonna say no. I feel like I'm on the fence with Shaquille and Kirsten.
Shaquille gonna say no. Kirsten gonna say yes. Right now, Shaq is no. Because when the producer asked him, "Do you feel love in this marriage?" You're like, "Oh." Shaq is no. There's a no. There's a no for him.
Well, that's it.
That's it. Hey, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification. Look out for other videos on some of this stuff a little bit later. I'm not going rogue. I might go a little rogue this afternoon, this evening. I'll drop some videos, but make sure you hit the subscribe button, bell notification, and make sure you check out our panel on this Sunday. If you watch this before Sunday, check out the panel this Sunday as we dig into Married at First Sight a little bit deeper with August Love Story and Talisa Ray. Thank you guys for joining us. Have a great afternoon. Peace.